Hey everyone, this is Sally from Matrikas, and we are here today with Jenny Hoofnagle from Freya Movement Studio. So she is the lead trainer, a birth doula, and also the owner of Freya Movement Studio. Hey Jenny, how's it going?
Hi, Sally. I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for asking. I'm super excited to dive in today. I know we have a lot to talk about.
We do. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, you have opened this amazing studio that we need in every city. Tell us a little bit about how you got into this, where you're located, and what you've got going on.
Yeah, totally. Thank you. So I started my journey as a fitness instructor about 8 years ago, 9 years ago now. And that happened after my own experience with pelvic floor dysfunction. And I spent 2 years in pelvic floor PT. I have endometriosis. And so that's one of the symptoms that I had. And after that experience, I had all this pelvic floor knowledge. And the first thing that I could do when I was rehabbing was Pilates. So that led me to understanding how healing movement can be and how valuable it is for bodies. So I decided to become a Pilates instructor. Then I decided I have all this pelvic floor knowledge. Who could use pelvic floor knowledge more than pregnant and postpartum people? And I very quickly started specializing in the pregnant and postpartum clientele. And then from there, after working with hundreds of pregnant and postpartum people in New York City over the years, I was training with a studio down in Soho that focused on this population pre-pandemic. It closed, and we just knew that there was still such a need, such a demand, and a, a calling from the New York City pregnant and postpartum community to have a space like this. So I doubled down. I decided that, this is truly a passion of mine in life. And here we are today. We opened in March. We're in Chelsea. We're on 29th Street between 6th and 7th Avenues. My number one goal when opening, because what we offer is so unique, was to be central and to be close to as many subway lines as possible. So that's how we landed in Chelsea. And being here now 4 months, 4.5 months, we're so happy that it's our home. We're meeting tons of people coming in every day to the studio, and everything is just really great. We can't wait to meet all of you who are watching and listening.
That is so smart and definitely needed. I know that so many people want specific pregnancy postpartum work, and I love that you're coming from that pelvic floor background, not just from the educational part, but also the experiential part, which is so vitally important.
Yeah.
So you have classes there. Now, I know that prenatal workouts are no joke, but I would imagine a common question you get is, are we really going to work out? How
Yeah.
is the class? So tell us a little bit about your classes.
Sure, I'd love to. So the thing that's really interesting about New York City, even though it is such a and bustling mecca of the world, there's actually not that many prenatal and postpartum fitness class offerings. And then when you do find them, they tend to be yoga or Pilates exclusively. I come from a Pilates background, so I love Pilates. I love yoga. There's definitely space and the need for that, especially in your pregnancy and postpartum journey. But you also still are a body that has to do a really hard performance-based marathon of labor and delivery. And then I always say postpartum is a contact sport. So you're going to be following your toddler around, all day long. You're going to be running up and down playground stairs. You're going to be carrying not just your luggage when you go on a vacation, but also that car seat and your baby's bag. Finally, when your child is 5, 6, 7 years old, they're still going to say, please pick me up, hold me. And you're going to want to be able to do that. So because of all of those things, we have kind of blended a Pilates and pelvic floor diastasis aware base of the workout with strength training, where we use 2 pound weights, 5 pound weights, 10 pound, 8 pound weights, sorry, not 10 pound weights, 8 pound weights in class. And we also do cardio sections. So I call those cardio blasts or labor training. So to your point, you got to come in, you got to be able to do something hard, both you and baby, something hard and stressful for up to 2 minutes at a time, which are going to be about as long as those later labor contractions. And then we actually also coach you through a recovery in every class in between those sections. And so what that looks like is getting connected with your body first getting connected with your breath second, and then getting connected with your mindset. And I coach people through in these breaks between our cardio blasts, this recovery, which is literally working a muscle just like every other muscle in your body that's a little bit more based on that central nervous system and maybe even your mind body pathway. So that, for example, let's say you're doing something hard, AKA a contraction, you bring your hands to your body like this, just because it's something that you've practiced in class 100 times. You close your eyes, you start moving your body a specific way, and you start focusing on your favorite beach that you grew up to going every summer. And suddenly your nervous system is under control like that. And so we're actually literally baking that into the workout, which is going to carry you through that labor and delivery as well in a very powerful way.
That is so vitally important.
Yeah.
I don't know that I hear a lot of people speaking in the way that you're speaking, which I think is brilliant.
Thank you.
You definitely have to work out and prepare for birth. And
Yes.
I think you know best as a birth doula how these all come together.
Yeah.
And I think it's really great that you have the background of the birth doula and the pelvic floor and the experiential and the education behind it to create this wonderful space for everyone. And, the thing that I hear from people all the time is, yeah, they have a prenatal yoga, but it's only on Wednesdays at
Yes.
time that I can't get there. So the fact that you have classes
All day, every day.
all day, every day. So tell us what times your classes are, and then also do you do virtual offerings as well?
So we have usually a chunk of classes in the morning, sometime depending on the day between 7:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. You're going to have at least 2 to 3 classes at the studio looking at the schedule. We do have those, like I said, late morning, early afternoon classes. So 11, 12 o'clock. Most days we have that as well. And then in the evenings, some of our most popular classes are going to be 5, 5:30, 6, 6:30 p.m. And again, it kind of varies day to day. We do kind of try to mix those start times up again, so that like if you're not available at 5 on Monday, we don't want you to, or 5 any day, let's say, we want you to be able to come at 5:30 on Tuesday, so we have a couple of different variability there. And then, yes, we do offer virtual classes. So that's something that I think that is still something people are learning about us. But we do have folks stream in. You can stream in live. And if you're just having a difficult time working it into your schedule, but let's say you're working at home and you have that 30 minutes, 45 minutes in the afternoon to do a lunchtime workout, you can join us online. Also, we find it's really great for that postpartum phase. We let you take classes. We invite you to take classes after you've been cleared by your doctor, of course. But even in those early days, you don't know what your schedule might look like day to day with baby schedule changing. Maybe you don't feel comfortable bringing the baby out of the house just yet or being around a lot of people because, you're waiting for that immunity to kick in, things like that. So join us virtually, and that will hopefully make your life even just that much easier. Lastly, I will say, in that postpartum period, so we do have prenatal classes. We also have postpartum specific classes. And so those classes are going to be very similar to our prenatal classes, the same breath work that we start class with, the same cardiovascular training with the idea of increasing your cardio over time, your stamina, also rebuilding strength, a lot of core focus to focus on bringing that transverse abdominals and pelvic floor back into connection, getting them nice and functional, stronger to support you. And we allow you to bring your baby to class. So you can always bring your baby, even if you're like, let's say you are moving into that, wanting to be around people in community, talking to other new moms, bring your baby to class. It's a great reason to get out, get some fresh air, again, talk to some other adults, but also you don't have to worry about childcare. And we as trainers, we love that because then we get to see your babies and snuggle with them. And, the best part about it is though, that really everyone in the class has gone through the same experience and is about in the same era, like season of life era, like Taylor Swift era, right? And there's no judgment. So if baby starts fussing, if you need to stop and feed, even in the prenatal classes, like people like run out and grab Tums in the middle of class, because we have those here, or they run to the bathroom, and we get it. Like there's no judgment. We want you to do what's best for you. And this is a safe space to bring your baby and feel at home.
That's such a beautiful thing. And I think that's something that most people think about when they're going through pregnancy and postpartum, but studios don't think about when
Yeah.
they are trying
Right.
to get these populations to come. So
Absolutely.
I'm sure that you're flooded with people who are just so appreciative. And let's talk about the community aspect a little bit.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
everything to do with pregnancy and postpartum, any businesses, any brands, always a community is an offshoot. It just is. So I would imagine that you've got a pretty thriving community with people there.
Absolutely do. Yeah. So, from my background, having had endometriosis, I think that's, as I said, it was what led me to working with pregnant and postpartum people to begin with. It also has led me to being a birth doula because I find advocacy in the female health space to be so crucial and important. And I've got a lot of experience doing it. And then lastly, just knowing that these spaces in the world for female identifying people, women who are going through the normal things that happen to us in life can feel really isolating. And there's not a lot of places that are created for us to come and be around one another and in community with one another as we're going through these experiences. And you and I were just talking before this about like how sometimes you might be out with girlfriends and you start to talk about it and people are kind of like, no, 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 things like that. And it's like, we got to talk about this. The more transparent we can be, the more we can share, the more we can open up and be in a safe space that allows for that and is built for you. We always say here, you're the rule, you're not the exception. At every other studio, you're going to be the exception, and maybe you're going to feel like you can safely do everything there, and maybe you're not. Here, you always will. And we're also building that community. So we have all kinds of events. One of the big pieces that we're passionate about is education. So we love to bring people in around workshops. For example, in the fall, almost every week in the fall, we're going to do a series called Meet the Pros. And so, for example, after class, once a week, 3 times a month, one time we're going to have a postpartum doula come and talk about all that she offers and also allow you to ask questions. Very informal. We'll have a chiropractor who is certified in the Webster technique coming and kind of just introducing how can you work in chiropractic care with pregnancy and postpartum, similar pelvic floor therapist, and we're also going to have an acupuncturist. So we build these little things into the schedule so that you can come, you can feel like you're doing something good for you, for your body, for baby, learning this knowledge, empowering yourself to live your life fully in this period. You're not broken. You are vital. Pregnancy is wellness. And then meet other people who are going through it at the same time. And we've really seen the community thrive and pick up. And we love it. We love meeting people in this really special and important time of their life.
That's so beautiful. And you're not the only birth doula that is,
Correct.
there's a
Yeah.
lead trainer and a birth doula, but I know you have lots of other people. So talk about your staff and the people that you work with.
Yeah, so we have 5 trainers on the training team, all who are certified in pregnancy and postpartum fitness and have done more than just a 3-hour workshop, which a lot is a lot of the education out there is on that like most basic level in the fitness world. We also have, including myself, there's 3 birth doulas on the team. And then there's also, I'm not a postpartum doula, but there's 3 postpartum doulas on the team. So we're building our birth collective. Our number one goal is to be a natural extension for you to find availability and resources and all the things you could possibly need in the birth world as you're going through this experience. We know that the Google machine is loud and overwhelming and can be a little bit scary. You're not ever sure what you can trust, what's real, what's not. And we've done a lot of that vetting. I mean, with you and Matrikas, we've learned, we have met all these providers. We know all these people. We've gone to their offices. We've gotten the treatments. We've shared the education. And so when I'm giving a referral, it's one that I absolutely stand behind 100%. So our birth and postpartum doula services are the most kind of organic extension and first arm for us at Freya of that, which is just being a one-stop shop for you and taking really good care of you in all aspects of your life through this moment.
I'm glad you mentioned that. And, I always say Google and not to down Google because thank goodness we have access.
Absolutely.
However, especially with referrals, there's a lot of data to support word of mouth referrals and
Mhm.
trusted referrals from experts like yourself to another person is much more vital than just somebody on the street being like, oh, I go to this place. Okay, great. But also for businesses, word of mouth is everything.
Everything. Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's one of those another thing, right? This experience of being a female identifying person where like uh, sharing a referral of the place that you went to during pregnancy is actually like an act of activism.
Yes.
Right? Like, because, whatever, historically, I love this idea that like gossip became a thing that people were against, right? Because women, circles of women were telling the truth. So, this isn't gossip. This is the truth. But yeah, just sharing these experiences, being a good finder amongst a community of women to empower them to have the best possible experience in their body and in their life is activism. And like, how cool is that? I don't know.
It's true. And I don't think that pregnant or postpartum people are gatekeeping information. They
Yeah.
want you to have it because it saved their life. It's funny, I almost named this podcast Good Gossip because of that
I
theory.
love
Like
that.
how
Yes.
it was being demonized that women
Yeah.
gossip. And it's, yes, we're sharing information. That's all
Yeah.
that was,
Exactly.
which is still the way that women transmit information,
Yeah.
which is how Matrikas was built because the
Yeah.
people were looking for information. And, most people don't take out billboards, they build communities.
Mhm.
It's a definite feminine-led
Yeah.
business model, which is emerging, and I love it, and way more effective, by the way.
Yeah. 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 And I think again, like going back to like our community, just to say one more thing, when I had this vision, New York City is so big and bustling and also isolating, even without thinking about pregnancy and postpartum. Just like, so I really wanted to see if I could create a space in New York City that felt like a small town insert state here. Like I wanted to create this home that felt like the a fitness studio that you walk into every morning, everybody, you say hi, you see your trainer who you're like, I just edited an Instagram reel that's coming up next week that's like all the things that we celebrate for you. And it's like, you got the keys to your new home, you got the job. Like we want it to feel like there's only 500 people in the town in the middle of New York City. And so that's really like my heart of hearts where the community part is coming from and what I'm trying to build.
You've definitely done it, and such an impressive, I mean, you just opened,
It
really.
just opened. Yes.
Yes, I love it.
Only the beginning. We have a long way to go.
Exactly. Expansion on the horizon. Well, I'm so excited for you. Can you let everybody know where to find you, where you're located, how to find your classes?
Yeah. So we are located in Chelsea, Manhattan. We're on 29th Street between 6th and 7th Avenue. And then online, you can find us at www.freyamovement.com, Freya. And you can also find us on Instagram at Freya Movement and TikTok at Freya Movement as well. And really quickly, while I'm saying that, just another little snippet of who we are. Freya is the Norse goddess of love, war, sex, magic, and gold. And so that's how we became Freya Movement, because when I learned that, I was like, holy cow, nothing's better than that. I want to be all of those things. So we hope that you'll feel that way too when you're here with us.
That's great. Yeah. Matrikas is actually a collective of Hindu goddesses that rule
Amazing. We have so much synergy,
childbirth
Sally.
and children. Yeah. So yeah. So I'm with you on the name. I think it's
Awesome.
great.
Yeah.
It took me years to find a name. I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know what it was. And
Yes.
literally woke up at 3 a.m. one morning and there was a voice that was like, look again.
Gosh, I
Yeah.
love that. That's so good. I just got chills.
I'm a big naming person. Yeah. Yeah. It's great. But thank you. I actually, as you were talking, I was like, I didn't ask her to talk about what Freya meant.
Well, there we go.
But thank you for throwing
Yeah.
that
As I was saying, I thought some people,
Yeah,
so thank you.
I love it. Thank you so much for your time today. This is
So welcome.
amazing. And everybody go check out Freya if you're in New York City. And if you're not in New York City, then check out their
Oh,
virtual offerings. Yeah, thanks for your time today. I'll talk to you soon.
thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.